While I sold everything I owned to save her, she was wiring my life savings to her secret lover.
6 months ago, I was a ghost of a man, living in a $35 a night motel room that smelled like wet carpet and old cigarettes. Room 214, the kind of place where the vending machine eats your money and the walls are too thin to hide anyone's pain. I'd hear the man next door cry himself to sleep every night. I wonder now if he heard me too. I was Marcus Bennett, 43 years old, former business owner, father of 2, and a man who had sacrificed every brick of his life for a wife who claimed she was dying, my ex-wife Rachel. The woman I thought I would grow old with, the woman I believed I had saved, and the woman who stole everything I had, my house, my business, my dignity, even my children, using a cancer diagnosis that turned out to be as real as her affection. On the night everything changed, there was a knock at my motel door at 2 a.m. I expected a drunk guest or someone looking for the wrong room. Instead, a man in a $5,000 suit stood in the flickering neon haze of the parking lot. "Marcus Bennett?" "That depends," I said. "If you're here to collect something, I've got nothing but debt." He didn't smile. "My name is James Crawford. I'm a private investigator. What I'm about to tell you, it's going to change everything you think you know." I should have shut the door, but something in his eyes, heavy, grim, made me step aside. "5 minutes," I muttered. He opened a leather briefcase on my unmade bed and took out a thick folder. Inside were documents, photos, bank statements, and medical papers. Then James asked the question that cracked my world open. "Before Rachel's cancer diagnosis, had you ever met Dr. Stephen Walsh?" I shook my head. Walsh had been the specialist she insisted on. Supposedly the best in Colorado. James slid a photo toward me. Rachel at a backyard BBQ, smiling at Dr. Walsh like he was an old friend. The date stamp was 3 years before her diagnosis. "Dr. Walsh is your ex-wife's cousin," he said. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a setup. My throat went dry. Then he laid out the truth like a surgeon slicing open a tumor. Rachel never had cancer. Not one treatment was real. Every scan was stolen from another patient. Every chemotherapy drip was saline and vitamins. Every panic attack was induced by medication Walsh prescribed under fake diagnoses. While I held her hand during chemo she was performing. While I sold everything I owned to pay her bills, she was wiring the money to offshore accounts, money she claimed went toward saving her life. The house I built for our family? Gone. My contracting business? Sold. My grandfather's Harley? Pawned. My wedding ring? Melted down for cash, and she laughed about it. James showed me a transcript recordings of Rachel and her divorce attorney lover, Marcus Clean, planning everything. "He sold his grandfather's ring today. He cried in the pawn shop." Clean laughed. "Pathetic. File the papers Monday. By the time he figures anything out, we'll be in Bermuda with his money." I punched the wall so hard my knuckles split open. Then James told me the final twist. "Your father hired me," he said. "He never believed Rachel's story." I sank onto the bed. I had pushed my father away for months, angry, ashamed, drowning in debt. I thought he didn't understand. But the whole time he'd been fighting for me. "Your mother followed Rachel to her fake appointments. Your brother tracked the offshore accounts. Your father bought your house back the day you sold it through a trust so Rachel couldn't find it. My family had been saving me while I pushed them away." "What happens now?" I whispered. "At 6 a.m., James said, the FBI will arrest Rachel and Marcus Clean. Dr. Walsh is already in custody." My head spun. My children Derek and Emma were with my parents. They knew the truth now. My father had shown them everything. When James left, I stared at the evidence scattered across the bed. I thought of the months I spent eating cold beans, working day labor jobs, sleeping in a room smaller than my old pantry. I thought of Rachel's words the day she left. "You're pathetic." A real man wouldn't have lost everything. Turns out the only pathetic thing was believing she deserved saving. By sunrise, I drove to my father's house. My truck fixed, maintained, secretly kept for me sat in the driveway. My children ran to me before I even stepped out. "Dad," Emma sobbed. "We're so sorry. Mom made us lie in court. She said she'd send us away if we didn't." Derek wrapped his arms around me, shaking. I knew something was wrong. Grandpa showed us everything. She's evil, Dad.